Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. God, what a week it's been, weather-wise. Christ, it's gone from like Ghostbusters Frozen Empire to monsoon weather overnight. Storm Bert has well and truly taken hold in certain parts of the country, but it doesn't seem to have done an awful lot down here. It's pretty much been all sort of wind and piss, which is like a lot of people I know. So yeah, it's not been brilliant. I put the heating on for a couple of nights and I've had to turn it off again because we're now sort of 13 degrees and it's just warm. So we're back where we started again. So I hope you've all had a good week anyway. Couple of little bits of news first. Got a new subscriber on the group, Peter Power Pop. He's got a channel, but I think it's mostly stuff that he's found and put on there, like music tracks and stuff like that. I don't think he's got any actual sort of content of his own on there. But welcome to the group, mate. If you're watching this, you'll find us all a fairly sort of friendly bunch. I say this every week whenever I get a new subscriber, but it's just my way of saying welcome to the retro movie zone empire as such. So there's a Facebook sort of group attached if you enjoy sort of bantering about movies and stuff like that. Feel free to pop over and join the group. You'll be made very welcome. We're all a friendly little bunch. So as I say, welcome to the group, mate, and hope you like what we're doing here. Also Instagram. I go on Instagram, but I don't normally check the sort of the analytics of it and this, that and the other. I did the other night and apparently I've got 2,500 and something followers, which is bloody phenomenal. I don't post on it very often. Usually when I watch a movie I'll post it on the group that I'm watching it, and if I think on I'll nip over to Instagram and post the same thing on there, but I've not been doing it much just recently, but it don't seem to have made much difference. So as I say, 2,500 followers, very happy with that. So yeah, well chuffed. Let's see, I've got a couple of rants here, but I think I'm going to save them till next week. I want to keep this nice and chilled this week if I can, and try and bring it in under an hour because I've got a few bits and pieces that I need to get done today. We've been decluttering and we want to try and make a sizable dent. No, let me correct that. Rob's been decluttering and I've basically been shouted up every now and then. Do you want this? Do you want this? Do you keeping this? So he's doing the decluttering, but I'm kind of helping. And it involved a trip up into my famous attic. Now I didn't go up, Rob did. I sort of stuck my head over the parapet and sort of had a look and, oh God, what's that there? What's in that box there? And he'd be getting bits and pieces out. And I've brought some stuff down to show you. And if I get a chance to do it today, I'll be showing you all these sort of bits and pieces. There's a stack of annuals. There's an item that I've not seen since the 70s. And also something that I got from Bert and Odeon probably about 85 when the film came out, so I'll be showing that off as well. As I say, if it's not today, because I do want to try and bring this in under an hour if I can, or thereabouts, I'll carry it all over till next week, and the list of things I need to carry over till next week is growing by the day. It might even involve a separate video, basically a sort of a catch-up video, although I would like to do, if I can, next week. If this one's going to be quite a short one, I'd like to do a fairly sort of sizable one next week. So but we'll see how we go. So let's see now. I'll start with comments as I always do. David Mansell, morning David. I agree, Christmas television is boring now. I mean, I usually watch Blu-rays or play video games. The same here, mate, the same here. Not so much the video games because I don't really do video games. But yeah, most of my Christmas viewing is done on DVD or Blu-ray or streaming or stuff like that. And it's all old stuff. It's hardly ever new things. So yeah, I get that completely. I agree with the rant and what you said about Christmas television. The rant, my God. I did probably go a little bit overboard last week, but I meant every word that I said. And as I say, today I believe is the Christmas lights switch on, so we're going to have the whole debacle all over again. And there's bound to be a couple of dickheads that set them off on their own sort of thing. You know, well, they're doing it, so we'll set a few off. There's bound to be. So we've got under the stairs sorted for Maya. I've got her music ready to go to play through. Oh, not the camera. What we do is we put her under. Well, she goes under the stairs, and then I've got this thing that I connect through Bluetooth to the phone, and we've got music for dogs on YouTube, which plays for like 12 hours, and I just leave that under there, and it chills her out. Hopefully, with it being the Christmas light switch on, it will be just 15 to 20 minutes of fireworks, and that will be it. But I wouldn't bet on it, but we'll see how we go. But yeah, it was one hell of a rant. I'm not done with rants yet. As I say, I've got 2 more ready to go. But I'm going to try and keep it fairly sort of chilled this week to see how we go. So thanks for that, David. Much appreciated on the comments, and any more questions you've got for me, fire them at me, even though I'm holding on to the 1 or 2 that you asked me a few weeks ago, and I will be answering those at some point. So Stuart, morning Stuart, fireworks. Oh, we're not done with it yet. We have 2 cats, absolute idiots, mate, just morons. I said pretty much everything I needed to say on it last week, but it's horrendous, and people that haven't got pets don't appreciate the distress that these poor animals go through just listening to these things. And yet, there's a couple of people at work who've told me that their dogs just sit at the window watching them, and it's like, God, I wish mine would do that. You know, she's only got to hear one go off, just one, and that's it. She's under the stairs, and she's under there for hours on end, shivering. So, yeah, totally get it, Stuart. As you know, talking of favourite animated films, a film I've loved for years is The Aristocats. I love The Aristocats. I haven't seen it for a long time, but I do love it. I remember my auntie taking me to see it at the cinema. It would have been, oh blimey, the late 60s or early 70s, and it was probably on a double bill with something else like Sleeping Beauty or something like that. But yeah, I do like The Aristocats. Watership Down is fantastic as well. Yeah, if you want to be traumatised, it is. I'm probably overstating it a bit, but I do remember a lot of people renting this out on Thorny MI VHS. Do you remember those, Jace? And basically saying that they put it on for their kids, thinking it was a children's film, which essentially it is because it's animated. But they'd obviously not read the original Richard Adams novel, and a lot of kids were quite upset by the violent scenes in it. When you watch it now, it probably seems quite tame, but at the time it was a beautiful thing to watch, but you had to be aware of what was coming before you put it on in front of a younger audience, let's say. But it's a cracking film, and Bright Eyes by Art Garfunkel, timeless, absolutely timeless. I watched the newly released 4K Blu-ray of The Terminator from 1984. It looks fantastic, and to be honest, mate, it may be my favourite rewatched film this year. I'd forgotten how much I liked it. What a film! Oh yeah, I'll be back. I haven't seen The Terminator for years. Chris Hukin, our techie guy, he bought, I believe, the Steelbook, and it's a handsome looking thing. So is the Steelbook. Kidding. It's a cracking looking steelbook, it really is, and it's good to hear that the film itself is as good as the package that it comes in. Like I say, I've not seen it for years, so I do need to catch up with that one at some point. And Terminator 2, yes, Wizard of Oz is just magical. Love the Wizard of Oz. That will be watched this Christmas without fail. Have you seen the new trailer for the film Wicked? Holy shit, it looks terrible. Thoughts? I think I've seen the trailer quite a while ago. I don't remember being dreadfully impressed with it. Being a fan of The Wizard of Oz, as it is, I honestly don't know. I know the stage show has been phenomenally popular. It's just supposed to be amazing. And I've got a friend who's probably seen it once, possibly twice, loves it. He will probably be first in the queue to watch Wicked, but I don't know, when it comes out on Blu-ray I'll probably take a look at it, or I might even wait until streaming, but I am absolutely in no hurry to track down Wicked and watch it. I just remember watching it and thinking, oh, yeah, all right, whatever. So yeah, my thoughts are completely indifferent to it at the moment, but it could change, you don't know. So I filmed a video listing my top 10 favourite gangster movies. Name a few of yours. The Godfather, obviously, absolute stone cold classic. Saw it for the first time one Christmas many years ago. Was amazed at how violent it was. It was on quite late, and I believe it's a 2 3/4 hour movie. I've seen it a few times since, and I absolutely love it. I can't remember the last time I watched Godfather 2 or 3. I do need to catch up with both of those at some point. I thought the dog was next to me then, but she's not. Sorry, something moved. So yeah, The Godfather is one. Casino, I love Casino. To me, that was the movie where Sharon Stone proved that she could act, as opposed to just spreading her legs in Basic Instinct, which is that's mostly what she's famous for in it. But Casino proved to me that she can act. She's amazing. So yeah, Godfather, Casino, Goodfellas is a good one. There are quite a few. I do enjoy watching every now and then the Roger Corman movie from 1966, the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, which I've got upstairs somewhere. What I'll probably do is, at my top 5 gangster movies that I've actually got one week, I'll make a note of that on my notes as a future thing. But I've got 1 or 2 upstairs. I believe Bonnie and Clyde is another one. I enjoyed that one. Not gangsters exactly, but well, I suppose you could call them that. Any others I can think of? There's probably is. Leave that one with me, but that's just a tiny handful to be going on with. Also, I do like Barbara Streisand. Such a talented singer, actress, and her comic timing is fantastic. It absolutely is. Name a few of her films you like, if you like her, that is. I do like her. I enjoyed What's Up Doc, the kind of slapstick comedy that she did with Ryan O'Neal. I even saw Yentl quite a while ago. It's a long film, but I thought that was really good. One movie that I was not expecting to enjoy, and I did. I thought it was excellent. The Prince of Tides, that was a good one. Barbara Streisand, Funny Girl, that was a good one. Enjoyed that one. I've got that one upstairs somewhere. And she did one that not a lot of people have heard of, called Nuts, with Richard Dreyfuss. She plays a woman accused of, I believe it's murder. And Richard Dreyfuss plays the lawyer that defends her. A cracking drama. I remember watching that the first time. I think it was at the video shop. It was in there, and I bought it home one night, and I was just amazed at how much I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I do like Barbara Streisand. That's probably another one that I'll do, because I've probably got 3 or 4 of her movies upstairs. But yes, I do like Barbara Streisand. So thanks for that, Stuart. Much appreciated, mate. Keep the questions coming. Steve Mack, our Criterion guy, just got the new BFI 4K of Watership Down. Morning, Steve, by the way. Looks superb. Great book with it too. And you put at the end, Steve Mack on my other YT account. I'm not sure what that is, so you'll have to come back to me on that one. Yeah, Watership Down. It's one that I wouldn't actually mind taking another look at, because I've not seen that one, blimey, probably since it first came out. So that would have been about 1978, 79, and it was on Thorn AMI videotape. So it's been a while, so I do need to tap that one in. So thanks for that one, Steve, much appreciated. Roy, morning, Roy. Morning, Sir Tony. I'm working today, so we'll catch up with most of the video over the weekend. David asking you about YouTubers. He was asking me about YouTubers that I would like to meet, and this, that, and the other. Reminded me that a few of us are tentatively planning a bit of a meet in possibly Birmingham. I told you tentatively, in the new year. There will be myself, Sam, Stuart, and hopefully a couple more. You'd be more than welcome to join us, and Stuart might be able to get your Sam Smith calendar cheaper in the new year. He doesn't need to get it at all. It really doesn't. How do I say this? I think I had this conversation with Sam already. I think he pretty much knows this. I'm not really one for meets, dude, and I can't. I used to be a very social person. Then COVID hit, and I became a total recluse. My social skills are pretty much zero, which you would never guess looking at me right now. But if I got you sitting in front of me right now, I'd struggle to have a conversation. That sounds awful, and I don't mean it to. I'm just not very good with meeting new people. I believe Callie's the same, Callista. She gets sort of anxiety at the thought of meeting people that she's not met before. And that's mostly how I am. It's a lovely thought, and I'm not saying that it will never happen. I never ever say never. But as things are at the moment, I'm not much of one for meets and stuff like that. But I really appreciate you thinking of me, and I'd be very curious to hear how the meet goes. But it's just not for me at the moment, I'm afraid. Guy will tell you this. I met him, and he will completely deny this, but I met him by accident. I was walking one afternoon and I heard a voice. I'd actually got my earpods in, so I could just literally hear this voice behind me, but I didn't realise it was shouting me. And he actually sort of walked in front of me, and it was Guy. Now, I used to work with Guy, going back 15 years, at the place that I'm still at, and he moved on. But we've kept in touch, obviously, via Facebook. And I will have conversations with Guy endlessly over Facebook, answer his posts, he'll reply to mine. As soon as you're face to face with somebody, it's slightly different. All of a sudden, you dry up. Now, he says I didn't. He says you were absolutely fine. We only talked for a good 5 or 6 minutes, something like that. But I remember thinking, what do I say? So he will completely say that it happened, but it did not happen the way that I remember it. But that's how I am, mate. But it's a lovely thought, and I really appreciate you asking me. And I'm not saying that it will never happen. It's just not for me at the moment, I'm afraid. So I hope you understand. Where are we? Buster Keaton. Love that video. Thanks so much for doing it for me. That was so much appreciated. All of those items that you showed off are now on my Amazon not to-do list, what do you call it, wish list. And just to show you that I do pay attention to what you're saying, there's the first one. I thought, strike while the iron's hot. You know this one. It's got Sherlock Jr., the General, and Steamboat Bill Jr. Now, I believe 2 of these are on one of those box sets that I showed off either last week or the week before. But this has got an absolute wealth of extras on, as you will know. So I'm really happy to have this. I haven't had a chance to watch any of them yet, but I definitely will be taking a look at that. So that's just to prove that I do pay attention to what you're saying. And a couple of other items I thought you might like to see. I saw this listed on the same page and thought, you know what, I'll have that. Where are we? Buster Keaton, Wonderful World of Slapstick. And I believe, is it written by Buster Keaton? Yes. So this is kind of an autobiography, by Buster Keaton and Charles Samuels, with a filmography, new introduction. Looking forward to getting into that. It's a good thick book, so I do need to get into that. But I'm guessing I'm going to be recommending this to you at some point when I actually do get round to reading it. But that's one for you to consider. And I thought you might like to see this. I've got 1 or 2 figures, not figures as in the kind of things that Callie and Guy collect, but little figurines. And I thought, with Buster Keaton in mind, you might like to see this little baby. This has been on my fireplace for quite a few years. I've also got a couple of other silent comics on there, which I'm sure you'd be interested in. I'll show those off at some point. But I thought you might like to see that, Mr. Keaton. It's a little metal thing, like not cast iron, what do they call it, pewter or whatever. I thought that was really nice. I thought you might be interested in seeing that. I have not only got 1 shirt, you cheeky sod. This just feels really comfortable, and it's quite warm. As you were saying in your last video, it's getting bloody cold in these film rooms. And it does in here. It's not this morning, but it usually does. So this is just one of my favourite shirts because it's quite warm. And the other thing is, I don't watch rugby and I don't support Leicester Tigers. I actually got this from work. They support sponsor Leicester Tigers, I believe. So they were giving these away one day, so I sort of grabbed one. But I'm not a sports fan or a rugby fan, so you'd never see me take a swig from my mug of tea. I think this came up once before. Somebody else mentioned, do you ever actually drink anything in that mug? Is there anything in it? There is. There's a brew in there. I won't tip it over too far because there you go. just for you. um, you think I'm around 55? I'm flattered, dude. I'm really, really flattered by that. I'm actually 62. Um, so yeah, no, I don't feel insulted by that one at all. If you think I look 55, it's all good. I promise you. And I love the way that you talked about the group as well. You described it as a sort of a chill out zone, nice and relaxed. This is how we like it. We don't go for all the, as you were saying, like the backstabbing, the bitching, the nastiness that seems to pervade other groups that I've seen. They all seem to not like each other very much. We all get on like a house on fire. There's banter, absolutely, and sometimes it goes, sometimes it's borderline, and then sometimes we do cross the border, but not too far. So, but yeah, we just like to keep it nice and relaxed and nice and easy going. I think it suits everybody that way, and I think anybody that comes in and rocks the boat, they are promptly disowned, let's say, disbanded. So, yeah, we do like to keep it relaxed, mate. But I really appreciate all the lovely things that you said about the group. We've got a cracking bunch of people here. We really have. And a lot of them have been here since the group started, which would be 3-4 years ago. I couldn't imagine life without it, no more than I could imagine life without this channel now. So yeah, much appreciated, mate. I do appreciate all your questions and your thoughts. If you got any more for me next week, keep them coming. Jason K, morning Jay, our Ginger Ninja. I really enjoyed Late Night with the Devil. Felt they really had a great vibe and feel. Wasn't scary, but certainly had a creep factor to it. I enjoyed it, Jay. It just wasn't on a par with Ghostwatch. Have you seen Ghostwatch, the BBC's Ghostwatch? If you haven't, I would really love you to watch that, and you will see what a genuinely creepy found footage as such. It was done in the style of a live broadcast, looks like. I'm guessing that you have, but just on the off chance that you haven't, please take a look at Ghostwatch, as that is the one that they are comparing Late Night with the Devil to, quite unfairly, because it's similar in places, but mostly it is completely different, and that is the one to take a look at if you like that kind of thing. So, Kickstarter to fund Christmas carols at your door with Sam Smith and the Gallagher brothers. If we all chip in a few dollars, I'm sure they will do it. Whether you want them to or not, you can fuck right off with that one. God, I can't imagine anything worse than opening the door and there's the Gallagher brothers. Fucking, we wish you a Merry fucking Christmas, you bastard. And Sam Smith whimpering next to him. Not for me, not for me. Kickstarter can piss off with that one as well. Imprint is a part of Viavision. At least over here it is. The Capricorn 1 set that you've got looks the same, so hopefully it is. I don't know. It's the first order from Imprint that I've ever had. And it was imported from Australia because it took about 8 days to get to me. It's got all the paperwork in with it as well. But it's not the last thing I'm going to be ordering from Imprint. Definitely not. I keep seeing items coming up on my feed, and I keep looking at them and thinking, oh my God, I need that. And I keep saving them and saving them. They're going to get one hell of an order from me in the new year. I can see it coming. I still need to watch the Banana Splits movie. I was gifted it by a fellow YouTuber and friend, so I really should watch it. I haven't seen it yet either. I do remember getting quite excited about it when I heard that it was being released and not realising that what it was is a slasher horror movie. So it is one that I want to take a look at, but I've heard nothing but bad reviews about it. But when has that ever stopped me, guys? When has that ever stopped me? So yeah, I will be taking a look at that. I'm in the process of adding all my movies that I own on physical media into an app that organises them all. This will take a while, but it's called Shelf. I'm really intrigued by this. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet, but I definitely will be taking a look at it, because I can't think of anything better than cataloguing every single disc that I've got. And yes, like yours, it will take a while. I'm guessing months. So I'm going to be taking a look at Shelf because I've not heard of it, but I'm very, very interested in that. Something short and sharp for a name. The Retro Zone, Tone's Retro Rants. Tones Retro Media. I do like the sound of the Retro Zone, actually. Thanks for that, Jace. Much appreciated. One of those is going to be the one, but I think it's going to be something like the Retro Zone, I think. Question time. Hammer Horror, which is the best of all time? Oh, that is a question. The best Hammer Horror movie? It would probably be a choice of two for me. It would either be Quatermass in the Pit, which terrified the bejesus out of me when I was a kid. I did see it when I was probably about 10 or 11. Yeah, I would say the Quatermass and the Pit, or another one that I've seen many, many times and never get bored of watching is The Devil Rides Out with Christopher Lee, based on the Dennis Wheatley novel. Just an absolute classic. Again, as I say, never get bored of it. I can't think of any more. There have been so many. The Curse of Frankenstein was a good one. I believe that was one of the first ever done. The original Dracula from 1958. But if I had to pick one that I was going to watch right now, it would be either The Devil Rides Out or Quatermass in the Pit. So hope that answers that one for you. Mel Brooks films, which one is the funniest and why is it Blazing Saddles? Of course it's Blazing Saddles. What else would it be? I just love Mel Brooks's don't give a fuck about fucking political correctness movies. I just adore him. I love his style. So yeah, Blazing Saddles it would definitely be. I also enjoyed High Anxiety, which was the sort of the pastiche on Hitler, Hitchcock movies. I can't think of any more. Spaceballs was okay. I've got Robin Hood Men in Tights to watch, which I bought a few weeks ago. Young Frankenstein is excellent. That was released, I believe, the same year as Blazing Saddles, so that would have been 1974. So yeah, I would say the Blazing Saddles or Young Frankenstein, but if I had to pick one, Blazing Saddles by a country mile. Hope the Saturday work schedule is treating you well. It is. I think it's over for the moment. I believe I've got to work a couple of Saturdays over Christmas. I think the one before Christmas and the one after. But apart from that, I think hopefully the work schedule now is fairly clear as far as weekends go, which is why I want to do a longer video if I can next week, but I'm not guaranteeing it because whenever they ask me to go in, it's usually at the last minute. Usually as I'm walking out the door on a Friday, it'll be like, don't fancy working tomorrow, do you? It's like, oh God, yeah, all right, oh yeah, go on then. So yeah, it is treating me well, but hopefully it'll be what was I going to say then? Senior moment. Forget that. I don't know what it was, but it sort of went out. I think it's time for a break because I've got Sam's comment next, and it's a lengthy one. So I'll take a quick break for a couple of seconds and I'll be back with you. Right, and we're back. Okay, on with the comments. Sam, the lovely Sam. Morning, Sam. Great video as always, Tony. I have seen the first few seasons of Love Thy Neighbour, not seen the film from Network. What's your thoughts? Absolutely love it. The series itself is just completely un-PC. There isn't one episode, I'm thinking, that you could screen today and not get into a lot of trouble with the woke brigade. You watch it now and it's just good. I wouldn't say clean, but it's good fun. The film, I thought it was an excellent TV spin-off. As I've said before, in the 70s, pretty much every sitcom that was going had its own feature film spin-off. And they were all pretty good. Some were not so good, but Love Thy Neighbour was definitely one of the better ones. So, yeah, I enjoyed Love Thy Neighbour, and I still do. I don't watch it very often. It's one of those now that when you've watched sort of 5 or 6 episodes, you've pretty much seen all of them, but I would like to take in the entire series again. I believe there is a new company that is now re-releasing a lot of the old network titles. I believe they're called Spirit Entertainment, and a lot of the old TV series, including Mind Your Language, which is another one that you might want to check out, about an English teacher at Tech College. Really, really good. He's an English teacher to foreign students. Pretty much Love Thy Neighbour, but 6 or 7 years later. And they're being released by this company called Spirit Entertainment. So I'm hoping they will do an uncut. That's very important. They must be uncut release of Love Thy Neighbour in the near future, because I will invest in the box set, definitely. I believe it's quite expensive if you try to get it now, because obviously it's quite hard to come by. But yeah, Love Thy Neighbour, love it. I saw that they are going to do a colorized excuse me, a colorized reconstruction version of Doctor Who: The War Games. What's your thoughts on this, Tone? The War Games was easily, I think, the longest Doctor Who story in the history of Doctor Who. I believe it ran for 10, it might have been more episodes. It was massive. And this, apparently this colorized version, as Guy was mentioning last night to me, they've trimmed it down to 90 minutes. Now, if each episode is about 25 minutes, which they are, the original broadcast would have been something like 4 hours long. And to trim that down to an hour and a half, they've somehow lost 2.5 hours of footage. Now, I can't believe that story, as it is at 90 minutes, is going to make any sense at all, but we'll see. I'm not a massive fan of colorization. I know it's come on in leaps and bounds. It's not the way that it used to be. When I used to watch things like Laurel and Hardy that have been colorized, the colours were very sort of faded and wishy-washy. It didn't look good. Now I'm fairly sure that it's come on in leaps and bounds. So I probably will take a look at it just to see what they've done with it. But I get the feeling I'm going to come away from it thinking I would really, really rather watch the original black and white episodes, and all 10 of them, than that. But we'll see how we go. But I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's just not really my thing. As it's Doctor Who Day, or by the time this blog is out, it was Doctor Who Day last Saturday, I'm going to be making an annual viewing of The Five Doctors, which is the ultimate Doctor Who crossover story and a superb 20th anniversary episode of the show. I've not seen that one for a long, long time. I'm not even sure whether I've got that one upstairs. I need to have a look. I'm guessing that's one that I haven't got, but I could be wrong. I'll let you know on that one. But I've not seen it for a long time. But if it's got all five Doctors in, you would have, is it William Hartnell, Patrick Troughton, John Pertwee, Tom Baker, and who came after him? Peter Davison. Yes. So it's one that I do need to dig out. I'll have a look at that one. Tony, I have ordered that Woodfall BFI Blu-ray box set on your wonderful recommendation. It was in the Black Friday sale for a superb price. Have you got a favourite film from that box set? I knew you wouldn't be able to hold back on that one for too long. A favourite film from it? The only ones I've seen are A Taste of Honey, which I thought was excellent, and The Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner with Tom Courtenay, which was also brilliant. The rest of them I don't believe I've seen, but those two I would class them as favourites, definitely. But you're going to get such a kick out of that box set. The extras alone will take you a weekend to get through. There are hundreds of them. It's just really, really good value for money. How much did you get it for, by the way, in the end? I think mine cost me about 25 or 26 quid. It could have been less than that, I don't know, but it wasn't very much. It was one of those that as soon as I saw the price, I've been looking at it for a while, I thought, yeah, I'm having that. So I'll be curious to know what you pay for that. Reign Over Me is excellent. Really powerful drama and a superb performance from Adam Sandler. I also love the other drama film he did called Punch Drunk Love, which is like many Paul Thomas Anderson movies, another brilliant film of his. I know that Punch Drunk Love is a firm favourite of Kermode's. He loves that movie, and every time he's mentioned it, he speaks with it with such fondness. So I'm definitely going to be tracking that one down. I will be taking a look at Reign Over Me at some point very soon. I just get the feeling I'm going to think that he's a much better dramatic actor than a comic actor, but I could be wrong. Even though I did enjoy 50 First Dates, I'm more inclined to watch Reign Over Me than the other one that I've been recommending, which is I think it's Happy Gilmore and one called Blended. Um, but yeah, and Uncut Gems, of course, that's another one that I really do need to take a look at. Um, I should have another VHS haul video out soon. I bought the Warner Brothers big box editions of Tightrope and Pale Rider. I also got Play Misty for Me, which I've heard excellent things about. Play Misty for Me, my God. Um, that is a terrifying film. If you've seen Fatal Attraction, um, dial that up to about 11 and you've got Play Misty for Me. It's a very, very similar thing. Clint plays a DJ, and I can't remember the name of the woman that plays Evelyn, but she basically calls into the radio station every night and asks Clint to um, play Misty for me. Um, and I think they get together. It's a very similar story to Fatal Attraction. So if you've seen Fatal Attraction, you'll get the idea of what you're getting with Play Misty for Me. But Play Misty for Me is much, much better. I will say that. Let's see. I've seen Pale Rider, and the more I think about it, it was really great. Good one to watch at the winter season, but not seen Tightrope and Play Misty for Me. Definitely wanted to check out more of Clint Eastwood's work. Tightrope, my God. I remember seeing that one at Burton Odeon. My sister came with me to watch that. How embarrassing was that? Um, I think it was a very adult film, a lot more adult than I'd seen Clint Eastwood do in the past. Um, and I think there were a couple of embarrassing pauses when we were talking about that one afterwards. But it's a cracking movie, absolutely brilliant. I've not seen it since, but I've got it upstairs on Blu-ray, and I do mean to keep taking a look at that. But if you want to get into Clint Eastwood's work, Play Misty for Me is a very good gateway into that, and also the Dirty Harry movies, which are absolutely superb. I'm trying to think of one that's a standalone that I enjoyed. Um, White Hunter Black Heart, if you can get hold of it, where he plays a version of John Huston, the director. Um, Excellent movie. The Bridges of Madison County, that's a good one. With, is it Meryl Streep that's in that? Really, really good movie. But yeah, Clint Eastwood, definitely check out more of his stuff. And there's enough to go at. There's loads of movies. I watched the original Black Christmas for the first time last year and thought it was very good, Tone. Have you seen the other Christmas slasher film, Silent Night, Deadly Night? I thought that was very solid as well. Also, I need to take a look at Violent Night and Christmas Evil. I've seen Silent Night, Deadly Night a couple of times. Caused a lot of fuss when it came out, that one. It was released around Christmas time, mid-80s, I think. And there were protests all over America outside cinemas basically saying that this film was destroying everybody's image of Santa Claus. They took it so seriously, they really did. But yeah, it caused a bit of a stink when it came out, that one. But I thought it was okay. Christmas Evil I've not seen. Violent Night I don't think I'd get on with. The clue's in the title, really. So me and violence don't really get on well together. And I have heard things that have made me think, oh, yeah, not really sure I'm up for that one. Keep up the awesome work as ever, Tony, mate, and hope you're having a grand weekend. It's been okay, apart from all this rain and stuff. It's been fine. So thanks for that, Sam. I've still yet to catch up with your videos. Please forgive me. I will be catching with them at some point soon. You've got so many to go at. I definitely want to take a look at your VHS ones, absolutely. So leave that with me. I will be catching up with those at some point very soon, mate. Mark, morning, Mark. It's still there, I can confirm. This is his Gremlins DVD that he said that he's had by the TV for 3 years. It's not moved, and he put a picture of it on, so I know it's still there. It's still there, I can confirm. I think it was Christmas 2021 that I got it out of the cupboard and haven't put it back since. Although I have watched it every year since I got it out. I originally got it out to educate my daughter on good movies. Well, that worked well, didn't it? As now she's watching Terrifier 2 and Terrifier 3 and God knows what else. Well, you've seen what's underneath my TV, but that has all gone back, by the way. I've not put any of it sort of back upstairs. It's all gone back exactly as it was. It's only a short one from Mark this week because he's off to the football, or he was. This is last week now. So I hope you had a good day, mate. I hope you remained completely and utterly sober. Fucking fat chance. Hope you had a good time, mate. So yeah, it's only a short one from Mark this week, but he did put he's never seen it for this week, which was Live and Let Die. Classic Bond movie, Jason's favourite, one of my favourites. I've never seen a Bond film pre Pierce Brosnan, so after Jason's Bond marathon, I decided to give this a go as it's his favourite. I really wanted to like this, but nope, I hated it. Normally, this wouldn't have made the half-hour mark, but I was determined to see it through. I'm sure it's a brilliant film to many, it is, but for me, it looks crap. The acting is cringy, and well, the less said about the special effects, the better. 3 out of 10. 1973, dude. The special effects were. It depends what you call special effects, I suppose. You're talking about the geezer blowing up at the end. Um, there were a few comments that came after that. I think you had a bit of a chat with Jason about it. But yeah, it's one of our favourites, and we just take it for what it is. Yes, it was. You look at it now, and it is a bit. Parts of it are a bit cringy, but you're talking of a film that's over 50 years old. So as for the special effects, they're not going to be anything like what you would get today, obviously. But I'm disappointed that you didn't like it, but I'm certainly looking forward to seeing what's coming next. Might I recommend Deliverance if you've not seen it? I believe it's on iPlayer at the moment. It's made in 1971, Burt Reynolds. What a movie. Anybody that has seen Deliverance will tell you it's a brilliant film. So yeah, I will recommend that one while it's on, I think it's iPlayer. But thanks for that, Mark, much appreciated. I will just show you this, and I've not taken a look at it yet. This is my copy of the McPherson tape. And as I say, it has got the director's cut, the theatrical cut. So I'm going to be taking a look at both of those. As I said in the message, Mark messaged me yesterday about this one. The version I've seen is the one where they're playing cards at the end. I won't say any more about that in case you've not seen this. That's the version that I've seen, but apparently there is another one, and it sounds truly shocking. So I will be taking a look at this at some point very soon, and I'll tell you exactly what I think of it. But I get the feeling it's going to do the same to me as it did the first time round, because found footage movies creep me out anyway, and as this was one of the first ever examples of that, I get the feeling that that is going to do the job nicely. But I'll let you know on that one, Mark. Where are we? Guy. Morning, Guy. We were talking about you earlier. Morning, Grumpy Bollocks. Morning, morning, Guy. Re your rant. I'm afraid they will continue. Twats. I'm sure when I was a kid it didn't happen as much, or is it me? No, it didn't. I do remember having, and I will admit this, obviously my dad had firework displays for us. Now the fireworks were nowhere near as loud as they are now. And I do remember that you probably got one or two going off the day before and the day after. But all this crap with it going off for, a fortnight before and for months afterwards, it's just too much. So no, it didn't happen that way years ago. Absolutely not, it didn't. It was a very, very different thing. And I think a lot of people were very conscious because many, many people had pets back then. So we all kind of appreciated that, yes, put them through a bit of misery to, for a few minutes, but then leave it alone because they've had enough. And to be honest, I was never a massive fan of fireworks as such. I used to like sparklers. I used to like that crap of writing your name in the air with them, but I don't remember thinking, can't wait for the fireworks. It's not something that's ever really bothered me, but no, it was very different years ago, mate. Favourite soundtracks? Wow, tough to choose. I'll have a think and come back to you. Funny enough, I'm going to have to do the same on that one because there are so many. I used to show off my vinyl soundtracks. Went all Sean Connery there. A while back. And I'm fairly sure, as I said before, that I've got a lot more up there than I found. And if I can find those, you'd be very, very interested to see some of those. The Friday the 13th soundtrack on vinyl with a 3D cover. That was a handsome looking thing. Halloween, Alien. I had loads. I collected soundtracks. And when I went on a trip down to London when I was about probably 18, 19, I think the first place that I made for was a place called 58 Dean Street Records. which was purely a movie soundtrack shop. I was in heaven. I must have been in there for 2 hours, 3 hours, just browsing. I came out with a carrier bag full of soundtracks. So yeah, I had loads back then. Hendrix, it's called Electric Ladyland, not Electric Landlady, you thick twat. Third album, Get Hold of Axis, Boulder's Love. That's the second album. There is fantastic songwriting. There is 4, 3, 2, 1. Calm. Get Hold of Axis, Boulder's Love. The second album, there is fantastic songwriting on it. As you've now heard, it's not just a noise. I didn't appreciate that, obviously. As I say, the only brief clips I've ever seen of Hendrix have been loud and they grated on me. Those 3 or 4 tracks that I listened to on Electric Landlady I thought were brilliant. And just to show you what I've got here, just bear with me. I'm diving a little deeper into the world of Mr. Hendrix, not just his albums. I've managed to get hold of this. This is a documentary. It's a 2-disc special edition about his life. What have we got on here? Let's have a look at the back. Oh God, the writing is so bleeding small. Oh God, I'm not even going to try and read that. But I'm guessing, see, it's 98 minutes, and I'm guessing it's going to be like testimonials from people that work with him, this, that, and the other, maybe even some archive footage, interviews with him. So looking forward to taking a look at that. And also, this was on the same page. I didn't even know this existed. Jimmy, this is a dramatisation, one of the best musical biopics ever. I can't think of a better way to honour Hendrix's genius. Andre Benjamin is magnetic, who obviously plays Hendrix. Don't know how long this one is. Does it say? 116 minutes, so it's nearly 2 hours. But that I will definitely take a look at, and I'll let you know what it's like when I've watched it. But I'm really looking forward to taking a look at that when I get a minute. So yeah, going further into the world of Mr. Hendrix, and also I've had another couple of classic TV series through that I think you might appreciate. Again, I've not started these yet, so please show me mercy on this. I will be getting into them, but first one is the A-Team. This is season 1. As I say, I'm just buying season 1s so far to see whether I actually like them, and if I do like them, I can gift this to the RSPCA to sell on, and I'll buy a full complete box set of all the seasons. But that's season 1 of the A-Team. And also this one, I believe you like the remake of this, which I've not seen. This is definitely more my style. A real good space opera, so I've heard. Battlestar Galactica. This is the original series from the 70s, starring Lorne Greene, Benedict, what's his name? Bloody hell's his name? He was in a lot of things, but it's not going to tell me. No, I can't find it. Richard Hatch. Stop. Hugh. No. But that's the other one I've got anyways. Battlestar Galactica. So I'll definitely be taking a look at that one at some point soon. I'm going to be attacking these series one at a time, so it may take a while to get round to watching them all. But I'm definitely looking forward to watching all of these. I've already made a start on 2 series that we've talked about quite a bit, that you're quite disappointed that I've not seen. So I've started on those. I'm not going to tell you what they are yet because I want to get 5 or 6 episodes in to each one. Basically just to show that I am serious about watching them, rather than telling you that I've watched 1 episode and that's it. That the whole project will tread a path into oblivion. You'll never hear from it again. But one series that I'm talking about, I actually binge watched 4 episodes the other night. It is that good. So I'll come back to that one. Let's see. I'm pretty sure you can get archive Radio Times online. Bet you'd love that. I'd adore that. I absolutely love that. I know that you can buy CD-ROMs with complete runs of certain magazines that would definitely be worth a look. And I do look at them occasionally. I'm one of these that like to finger through. Sorry. Thumb through. Oh god, that's even worse. To actually read a magazine, if you know what I'm saying, rather than looking at it on CD-ROM. But I take your points on that. You've never seen Father Ted? I haven't. No, I've seen bits of it. It's one of those that's never really appealed to me. Maybe at some point soon. Thanks for the Higgis, love. Even though you veered off into JK's comments, I couldn't help that. He made some very valid points. I can't remember what they were for the life of me, but he did. Airwolf and Quantum Leap. Finally, get on Airwolf first. In fact, start now. 80s action, Cold War intrigue, and it's incredibly well made for the time. You will love this. Will love this. Will. I will. Leave that with me, guy. I am on it, like a car bonnet. Callie, oh my Christ, I've got 8 minutes before I have to take a break. Morning, Callista, how are you, love? Saturday morning Tony time on a chilly day with a brew, perfection. It is, isn't it? Jerry Anderson, I'm definitely in the camp of Thunderbirds. It's just my favourite, it always has been. It's probably the first example of Jerry Anderson that I remember watching. So yes, I've got a very, very soft spot for Thunderbirds. The Christmas memories I have of going through the TV guides, circling the films and stocking up on tapes. Those were the days that are sadly just a memory now. Well, thanks for bringing things down. Nice one, Callie. It is. It's disappointing when you think about it that those times have gone. And I do tend to wallow in the past an awful lot, which is probably why I started a channel called the Retro Zone, I suppose. Best Bond, as I said in our Bond episode, Timothy Dalton is hands down the best Bond. Yeah, I mean, those two that he made are absolutely brilliant, but given the choice of my favourite Bond, I would have to say Sean Connery. Even though my favourite Bond film, as we all know, is on Her Majesty's Secret Service, because I loved George Lazenby in the role, and I'm really disappointed that he didn't carry on with it. But I've got books and documentaries that are going to tell me why he didn't carry on with it. But he had quite a good film career after it. The Man from Hong Kong, need I say more? That Blair Witch box set is stunning, hun. A little bit jealous, to be honest. I wouldn't be too jealous if I were you. I had an email, a comment from Dave Lowe, who's basically told me that there are faults on the discs, and Arrow asking people to email their sort of addresses and that so they can get fresh discs sent out when the problem is cured. I don't know whether mine has got the same problems. I've not even looked at it, but I'm going to have a look at the email that I've been sent with addresses and that. I might as well get new discs because I'm not going to get a chance to check them over. I think it's mostly to do with the sound, but the set itself with the books and the art cards is just absolutely brilliant. I can't fault it. It's just a shame that this has cropped up, but I'll let you know how I go with that. Yes, Jason Kerr got my reference. Reference to what? I can't remember. That's another memory that's trodden a path into oblivion. I'll never hear from that one again. So, the mall from Dawn of the Dead is the Monroeville Mall. Oh God, try saying that one fast. Is the Monroeville Mall. I watched the vid on YouTube of a guy taking a look around. If I can find the vid, I'll link it to the group. Please do. I would love to see that. Gremlins, Stone Cold classic and one of my favourites for Christmas. I've already got that one earmarked for a look over Christmas, and probably a handful of others that I've not seen before that I'm going to be taking in. Tales from the Crypt, classic Hammer era horror, superb, absolutely brilliant. I will definitely watch that one this Christmas because of the very festive feel of the first instalment with Joan Collins, where she murders her husband. The Wizard of Oz, classic, and yes, when I was younger, those flying monkeys scared the shit out of me. They scared the shit out of everybody. It's a very adult movie when you look at it. It is a kid's film, and obviously now, sort of 90 years on, or whatever it is, it looks as tame as anything, but I can imagine back then that was quite an alarming thing to watch. Black Christmas. When someone says Christmas horror movies, this is the first one I think of. To be honest, when you asked me what my favourite Christmas movies were, that was the first one that sprang to mind before any of the others. I had to think hard about those other ones. Ghost Stories for Christmas. Honestly, not seen those, but sounds like something I would enjoy. If you enjoy vintage BBC television, you will not go far with that. They were a tradition with me. I always used to watch The Ghost Story for Christmas every year, right the way from the early 70s. A Warning to the Curious scared me. The Signalman was just scary as hell. Not now, obviously. You watch it now, there's nothing to it, but they've got a real quaint old world feel about them, which I love, and I think you would enjoy them. Thank you for the Higgis Love Fun. You're much very welcome. I've got some notes which I need to pop onto this. I did watch the last episode, which was retro cartoons, and I'm going to be showing off my top 5, I think it'll be, because I don't think I've got that many retro cartoons, along with some other stuff. I need to catch up, not with watching the videos because I am up to date, but put the notes on here so that I can actually talk about it. I don't know why I forgot to do it again. My memory is getting worse. The store that charged to rewind videos was Hollywood Movie Store up in Horninglow. That was like 30 years ago, and now I feel old. I always feel old when I think of things like that. I still find it hard to believe that when I worked in the video shop, that was nearly 40 years ago. Crumbs, where does it all go? From, series called From. It's been added to my ever-growing watch list. A lady that I work with swears by it. She absolutely loves it. The part I couldn't talk about on YouTube is the main attack that leads to her wanting revenge. We're talking about I Spit on Your Grave, the remake. From what I've seen of the sequels, the second focuses on a different woman, but the third one is the woman from the first one joining a therapy group and then going out and getting revenge on the people that assaulted members of said group. Not watched them yet, but I've watched the trailers. I don't think I'd make it through 2 and 3. I barely made it through the first one, which was quite easily alongside a movie called Last House on the Left, which was one of the most unpleasant experiences I think I've ever had movie wise. So I'm in no hurry to watch the second and third one, but I'll be very curious to know how you get on with them, because I know the first one affected you deeply, and remembering it the way I do, I ain't surprised. Arrow is fantastic, but does lose steam by the 8th and final season. Not really sure it's my kind of thing, but I'll have a look at the trailer and maybe the first episode and see how I get on. Oh, you have to show off that Batman box set, hun. I will do that next week, I promise you. The Twilight Zone episode you were thinking of is called Time Enough at Last. That was it. I can't remember what the one about the stressed out guy that goes back to his old town. He goes back in time to this really peaceful, sedate little village, like something out of Huckleberry Finn. I can't remember what that was called, but that is definitely my favourite episode of all time. And The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street, enjoyed that one as well. When I get that box set, which I'm getting increasingly closer to getting that 6-season box set, I'll be showing that one off for sure. How have you never seen Thundercats? Give it a try, hun. If nothing else, you'll love the theme song. I'll have a go. I'll take a look at that. I'll transfer that note onto next week's and see how I get on. Oh, hun, on the retro cartoons episode, we had our oldest pick ever, 105 years old. Felix the cat won it. I can't remember that one. I do remember the adult version that was done in the sort of the 80s. Another cracking episode, as always, on time for me to sort through my collection and decide what needs to be sold. Hard times, unfortunately, but looking forward to next week's episode, and I hope you enjoy this week's Higgis. I'm looking forward to it. It's a shame you've got to sell some of your collection, mate, but it's difficult times for everybody at the moment, isn't it? But with energy prices going up and everything going up, so I do kind of get it. I would definitely try and hold on to that Book of the Dead, though. Definitely. Only if you have to. So right, I'm going to take a quick break and I'll be back with Jason's comment, which is an absolute ball buster this week. Back in a sec. And we're back. Right, so much for bringing this under an hour. Bollocks. And we're back. Right, coming into the home stretch, guys. So much for bringing this in under an hour. Best laid plans and all that. On to Jason's comments. Let's see. Great video, Tone. Thanks, Jay. Tone's weekly roundup, which is your idea of what to rename the channel. I like that one. I like that one. There's one or two that I've had this week that I'm erring on the side of. So thanks for that one, Jace. As Burton will be turning their Christmas lights on this Sunday night, the 24th, there will be fireworks. Some of my friends have pets and they give them calming tablets. Nip down to the pet shop and see what they have and what they recommend. Some say they work, some don't, but it's worth a try. We've tried these before. The problem is when you put these calming tablets into a food, and I've even tried cutting a chunk of meat open and just poking it in and then closing it again, and she still manages to leave the tablet in the bottom of the bowl. Everything else has been eaten apart from this one little tablet sitting lonely in the bottom of the bowl. So she will take them if you're crafty about it, but I don't know whether they make that much of a difference. But we used to put, she got this like little cravat thing that we used to spray with calming spray, which we might try again later. You should have put that round her neck loosely, and that kind of calms her down. But we found, the last couple of times that just playing this music for dogs, relaxing music for dogs on YouTube through that JBL speaker thing seems to work. I remember the first time we tried it, I sat in the other room, and about half an hour later I got a call, Tone, come look at this. Come through. The first time I saw her under there, probably half an hour before, she sits normally but with her head forward and just shivering, and she just looks a wreck. She was actually lying down and looking completely chilled, and it's like, it seems to work. So we've kind of stuck with that, but we've got calming sprays, we've got calming tablets, so we almost certainly will give it a go. But the calming tablets she absolutely will not have. So thanks for the suggestion anyway, mate. Have a look on eBay for your old Christmas TV mag. This is where I got some of my covers from for the Christmas TV thread. I have got one upstairs somewhere, I know I have, and I'm sure it's from 1976. So I'll try and dig that one out, but I'll have a look on eBay at other sort of years and see if I can grab a couple more, because I love reading through stuff like that. And I actually found, whilst going through some bits and pieces upstairs, and I'll show them off next week because I've not got them by the side of me here, some old comics from the late 70s, early 80s, Whizzer and Chips, that kind of thing. And they're looking a bit faded now, but they are still readable. So I'll show those off next week. I Spit on Your Grave remakes. Part 2 is a different girl, and holy shit, there's a worse scene in it than the original and the remake. I winced a little. So what am I going to make of it? Well, I'm never going to find out. So glad when she gets her revenge and tortures them. That's not a spoiler, as you know the gist. I pretty much know where it's going. I would go as far as to say they outdid the 2010 remake for wince-inducing moments. I will watch it again, though. No, I don't think it's for me. I Spit on Your Grave 3. The girl from the 2010 remake is back. Oh God. She is obviously still traumatised by previous events, so joins a therapist group. There she meets other women that are being abused by their partners. Well, she ain't fucking happy about this, obviously, so off she trots to exact her revenge on them. God, she's taking on everybody else's traumas now. All I will say for this one is Iron Tube. We'll also watch this again. Iron Tube. Why do I get the feeling I've seen this before? Does it involve a sledgehammer by any chance? Yeah, I think I know the one that you mean. I've either seen this film or I've seen that bit, and it was one of those, oh my God, when I realised what she was actually going to do. I think that's the one. Just confirm that for me. As for shit movies, it was a case of not watching or wasting my time on shite, because I'm at a certain age now where you never know what's around the corner. I'm okay, by the way. I'm not about to meet my maker. I'm glad to hear it. But you just don't know, and I don't want to go out knowing my last film was Rabid Badger from Outer Space. I made that up, Tony. So don't look in. I made that up, Tony. So don't look for it on Amazon. Too late. Already done that. Only good stuff for me from now on. My 5-year window of rewatching movies has now changed to 3. I know you watch your shite, and you'll probably meet your maker choking on a pizza watching Rabid Grannies. That is a film. Yes, it is. But at least you're happy and full. Mark was commenting on this one. He actually looked it up and he came on and said, fucking hell, it is a film. It actually is a film, Rabid Grannies. And I think he was going to put it on his never seen thread for next year, with it being from the 80s. And he made a bold claim saying that I'll be lucky if I make it to the half-hour mark. Mark, if you're watching this, I think you're being a bit over-optimistic with that one, mate. If you make it past the first 10 minutes of Rabid Grannies, because I'm fairly sure I have seen it, or at least I've seen the trailer. And if you didn't like the polished, glossy production values of Live and Let Die, I don't think you're going to go for Rabid Grannies at all. We shall see as time moves on. Certainly looking forward to seeing what next week's is. Let's see. That's all for today. Oh, was that it? Not quite as ball busting as I thought. Thanks, Jace. Keep up the good work and get to the pet shop. Hopefully, I won't need to. I shall see what. I'm a bugger for buying things like that. It's like whenever something like this, I'll go and buy certain things, and it's like, you've already got these, or you've got something like it. Why do we need more? So I've probably got 2 or 3 different packs of calming tablets and calming sprays and all this sort of thing. So I'm at the point now where I'm starting to use up things that I've already got, rather than going and spending money on other stuff. But we shall see. Never seen for this week, Jason. A Cry in the Dark, 1988. I remember watching this years ago, loved it. I thought it was really good. A mother whose child was killed in a dingo attack in the Australian outback fights to prove her innocence when she is accused of murder. Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. Your opinion? One of the most boring films I've ever seen. Roll on 2025. This was a substitute movie if I didn't make it to 50 movies. Well, I did, and actually made it to 108. So I use this today to fuck it off. Absolute shite. For some reason, I would have thought that you would have enjoyed that not a lot more, but a bit more than you did. But curveball yet again. Proved me wrong yet again. So thanks for that, Jace. Much appreciated. Always good to hear from you, mate. Right, I've got a few bits to show off here. As I was saying earlier on, Rob's been decluttering and bringing certain things down, and it's like, yeah, I'll show the group that. They'll love that. So there's a couple of little bits here. This first one is completely unrelated to movies, but this must be close to 50 years old. Anybody remember these that's watching? This is my exercise book. Anthony Harris, I was Anthony back then, not Tony. Form 4A, Chemistry, Option 1. With all my, it's literally falling apart, look, it's old. But there's all my notes. Oh God, what you got here? Method, the sulfur dioxide and oxygen gases are passing through sulfuric acid to remove all traces of water. Is it? Is that right, Tone? God, some of the pages are stuck together. Hang on. I can't even get into that one. No, it's not going to have it. But there's all sorts of little diagrams there that I must have thought were quite good at the time. I would. Do you know what? If I read this now, and I'm reading bits of it, it's like, what the hell does any of that even mean? The chemical symbols for the following are: hydrogen is H, lead is Pb, nitrogen. Oh, this is the periodic table, isn't it, as we know it now? The word elements means the simple substance from which all matter is made. Elements themselves are made of atoms. What a swat I was back there. Get away with that. This, I must have got, Caroline, you will love this. I will post a picture of this just in case you don't watch the video. We went to see a Bette Midler movie called Ruthless People. I think Caroline came with me on this one. And they must have been giving these away. I don't remember ever getting these before, but they must have been giving these away, because where else would I have got it from? I Love Ruthless People by 18, it says at the bottom, Adult Fun at the Odeon. So there you go, that's a little badge, as there used to be, and that was found in the attic in a box. That's one. This, I haven't seen this since the 1970s. I think this is actually Rob's, but I did have one. Who remembers this thing? The Viewmaster. You look through this and basically it shows you 3D pictures, and I had loads of these. I had a Star Trek one, and you know what, they might look a little bit faded, the pictures, but they still look great in 3D. They came on these little things like that. He's obviously drawn all over his. I never did that with mine. And they literally just slip in like that, and then you just one after the other. I had at least one of these, probably two. They used to do a deluxe version. Can't remember what the deluxe version involved, but it was longer. It came down to about here. But the Viewmaster, I used to love my Viewmaster. That's that. Right, some annuals. I'll run through these as quickly as possible. Now, the ones that I'm going to completely disown are the ones I think are Rob's. And any that are uncool, I will obviously say that there is, not mine. First one, a very old Blue Peter annual. It's the 6th book, and the date in this is, if it's 10 shillings, that tells you how far this goes back. There's not actually a date on it, but I'm guessing this goes back to the 60s, possibly early 60s, late 60s. That's one. Yeah, I'll lay claim to this one because it's Dallas. I used to love Dallas. Larry Hagman as JR was just the ultimate baddie. Real pantomime villain, but really, really good. Loved Dallas back then. And there's another Dallas annual. This was definitely one of mine. My nan bought me this. Guy, I bet you'll appreciate this one. UFO annual. And I'm fairly sure that this is from around about 1971 or 1972. Picture of the skydiver. I saw a copy of this on eBay, oh God, a few months back, going for about £7 or £8, and I nearly bought it. And Rob took a look at the screen as he walked through the room and said, "You do realise you've already got that?" Have I? Yeah, it's up in the attic. I thought I'd given it away, but date on this is 1970. But there's all sorts on this. I believe there was even a game. You've got stories. Crap with this, you know I am. But you've got stories, features on the TV series. I can't find the game, but they usually included a little kind of board game thing. All you needed was a dice to play it, but Ed Straker on the back. I think this one's Rob's. Pugwash and the Ghost Ship. Captain Pugwash. You'll remember this from the 70s. This used to be on before the news. Same slot as the Wombles, the Herbs, all that kind of thing. Paddington, but before that. So that's a classic old one. God, I wish this was mine. I don't think it is, but I wish it had been. Follyfoot Annual from 1977. I think the series had actually finished by then, but they kept producing the annuals, and again, it's just... I'm not even going to try to do it. You know the story. You know the score with that. I used to love that series. Absolutely love that series. Action Annual from 1981. That was a very popular comic at the time. Not one that I used to get. I was more into sort of Spider-Man, Superman, Whizzer and Chips and all that sort of thing. I never really bothered with the war ones. But that's another one. Oh, cross. The Wombles Annual. I'm fairly sure this is Rob's because I don't remember getting that for any Christmas. I think this is one of mine, 2000 AD. And I bet that a lot of these strips are no longer in it. So you've got Judge Dredd, obviously. There's a bit of all sorts in here. This is a cracking annual. Any of these that you want a closer look at, by the way, let me know, and I'll try to do a video where I can lay it flat down and actually flick through it properly, like I used to do with my books. I think this will be up Guys in Callie's alley. I think that's the word, is it alley or whatever? Superman, Batman with Robin the Boy Wonder annual. Now, what year would this have been? 1977, so it's still nearly 50 years old, and again it's just comic strips. In fact, I think it is all comic strips. Yeah, because 1977, Superman the movie hadn't happened as yet. That was released in 78, so that's that one. Oh, Guy, you will love this. And Callie. Star Wars annual. Oh my God, this has got to be 1977. Yes, it is. £1.75. I bet you pay a fuck's lot more for that now. But in this, you've got, again, comic strips. You've got articles on the stars, little bits on the making of the movie. I'm going to have a read of that myself at some point. That's the back of it, which I think is the same as the front. 79. $6 Million Man annual. I used to love Steve Austin. Let's see what you got in here. Again, comic strips, little articles on the TV series, The Stars, Lee Majors. And here we go. This is what you used to get with them. A lot of these, but this is the first one I found. A board game. And all you needed was like counters and a dice to follow that. Love to play that sometime. This was definitely mine. I remember this very, very well. And it's got my name in it. Look at that. 109 Sycamore Road. It doesn't exist anymore. Well, not for the family anyway. It's gone now. This is basically The Boys Book of Space. Oh my God, I can't wait to read this again. It's by Patrick Moore. Remember Patrick Moore? And it is articles on planets, space generally, space travel. It has such a 60s feel to it. Where's that picture that I just saw? Can't bloody find it now. Look at that. How much more 60s can you get than that? Now, what year was this bought out? But I can't find a date on it. Just bear with me. Oh, blimey. 1954. Where on earth would I have got this? I must have been gifted this at some point. Oh, it's got no cover on it. This is definitely one of Rob's. I'm not laying claim to this one. Rod Hull and Emu, annual 1979. Oh my God. Yeah, less said about that one the better, but I'll still have a read of it probably. And finally, and there are more to come because it's not finished up there yet, so there will be more of these to show off at some point. What can I do today? Over 100 projects for boys aged 6 to 12. What year would this have been? Oh God. 1975. Oh no, 1976. It's basically showing you how to make like models and origami. There's a bit of origami in there. How to make games. I'd love to try some of this stuff now. I really would. But it's a nice little annual, that. That's one I wished I'd have had. So that's all the annuals that I've got. Now next time, I've got to go through these. This is a carrier bag full of assorted bits. And I'm not going to enter into these now, but I will show you roughly what's to come when I do finally do it. Who remembers, before the digital age, scrapbooks? I've got two in here. There's all sorts in here, but I will go through it properly. God almighty. Just look at that. It's all bits that I've cut out of magazines and stuck in there. There's an advert for the Odeon, and it was showing, so this would have been from 1979, it was showing Alien on screen 1. Screen 2 had, oh here we go, Clockwork Banana, Certificate X. plus Sex Mad Certificate X. Oh God. Separate performances on screen 3. You've got Star Trek the Motion Picture plus Wild Water, whatever Wild Water was. Probably a short film. But I'll go through this properly at some point. That was a series that I used to love because I used to sit and watch it with my mum, The Mallons. But there is literally all sorts in here. There's lots of loose cuttings. You've got a bit cut off the cover of Looking by there, by the looks of that. The Cedar Tree. They didn't quite make it in time for Christmas video show, Kenny Everett. But scrapbooks, I can't wait to show you this. There's all sorts of other little things in there that I'm going to go into next week. I've not had a chance to sort through that yet, so I'll come back to that. But this is something else that somebody brought to my attention this week at work. We get a lot of stuff back from stores, and some of it is wrapped in sort of old newspapers and stuff like this. And somebody found this little beauty, just a page, and it was wrapped around something, I don't know what it was, but from December the 2nd, 1993. So this is over 30 years old. You've got, let's see, Clydesdale on the back there. That's, I think it's like a TV shop, and your most recent movie on there is Wayne's World, by the looks of it. But you've also got a TV schedule, so Jason, you'd be interested in this. And what was on, just bear with me because my eyes are terrible. BBC One, let's see, so this would be December 2nd, so you're on the run up to Christmas. You've got Newshound, Playdays, Pebble Mill, Neighbours, it must have just started. Blue Peter, Top of the Pops, With Them People, Bjork, Mr. Blobby, East 17 and Meatloaf. And EastEnders is on there. Question Time. That's a real old. I'd love to get one of that. I'd love to see one of these from the 70s. But that's an old, very old TV schedule out of a newspaper. Right, some bits that I've bought before I take off and commence with all the other stuff I've got to do today. So let me just move these forward. Just bear with me. So, starting off with magazines, as we always do, I've got the January issue of Empire, which has got a 2025 preview, articles on Star Wars, Andor, Captain America, Spinal Tap 2. That's one I need to watch, is the original Spinal Tap. Badlands, Bridget Jones, Mad About the Boy, Born Again, Severance, Nosferatu. So definitely be having a flip through that at some point. The latest issue of Sight and Sound, which, as I always say, panders for my interest in alternative cinema. Articles on Ben Wheatley, Amelia Perez, which is a movie I'm really looking forward to seeing, and more on David Lynch. So this is the December issue, so there'll be no doubt be some cracking Christmas reviews in there, so I'll be taking a look at that. This came through yesterday, the latest issue of The Dark Side. I love this magazine. Bruce Campbell interviewed, Driller Killers, Witches of Whitewood, City of the Dead, Killer on Campus, You Won't Pass His Final Exam. Good God, there's all sorts in this. It's a beautifully made magazine. It's colourful, it's bright, and do you remember me saying the other week that I would love to see a Russ Meyer movie? They're being released on Blu-ray, so I'm going to be grabbing these, absolutely 100% sure. And Guy, I know you won't believe this, but I will be getting these and taking a look at them. You got Vixens, Super Vixens, and Beneath the Valley of the Ultra Vixens. 9 combined hours of special features. It's going to be worth it just for that. Severance films are getting those, so I'm going to be grabbing those. The latest issue of Infinity. Remember the name of it. Let's see. The Search for Spock at 40. Baker's Half Dozen. Tom's Key to Time. That's Tom Baker. The Lighter Side of 007. That's obviously an article on Felix Leiter, the character. David Suchet interviewed. In Their Element, Sapphire and Steel. Aliens Who Fell to Earth. Chariots of the Gods revisited. But there's a nice picture of David Bowie on the front there as the man who fell to earth. I'm hoping that's going to get a mention. Be into that one. The latest issue of Yours Retro. Steve McQueen and Paul Newman on the Tower and Inferno. Miss Marple, Hitchcock's Heroines, William Holden, Smith and Jones. Alias Smith and Jones, I remember that one. Troubled Western Stars, Gunshot Death. So yeah, I'm going to be taking a look at that. Lost Interviews, Deborah Carr on men, marriage, divorce and nerves. So I'll be taking a look at that. This turned up in my mailbox and I thought, I've not even looked through it yet. The Midco Toy Master. I want to see whether toys and games are what they were when. I'm fairly sure they're not going to be what they used to be. But I'll come back on that one. And I have officially become elderly. I saw this on the shelf at Morrison's and thought, oh, that looks like a nice cosy read. The Saga magazine. I believe this is aimed at pensioners, but I just love the look at some of the articles and I thought, that's it, you've officially crossed the barrier of becoming old. So I will be reading it, I guarantee you I will be reading it. And, well, not finally, but I got this through. Somebody posted a picture of this and I thought, I've got to have one of those. You know, I subscribe to the Intermission magazine, which is the Talking Pictures TV official magazine. Got that, which is a binder, as somebody informed me. And I thought, yep, I need that. So this houses 12 magazines. As you can see, there's bits and pieces inside it, but I'm going to be digging out all of the Intermission magazines and popping them in there. It's a cracking magazine. It's absolutely worth the subscription cost. So, right, some Blu-rays and DVDs to quickly show off. First one, V for Vendetta. Somebody was on about this at work. We've actually had a guy start at work who looks like the main geezer with the mask. Believe it or not. And somebody said, it reminds me of V for Vendetta because he just looks like him, even with the mask on. So, I said, never seen that. He said, well, you never seen V for Vendetta? You got it. So I grabbed this for about, I think it was about £3. So I'll be taking a look at that at some point. This was a favourite of mine many years ago. I was a closet punk back in the day. And I saw this many, many years ago and absolutely loved it. How it holds up today, I don't know. It was an early role for Toyah Wilcox, Jubilee, directed by Derek Jarman. I love Derek Jarman's work because it's so bloody weird and strange. But this, to me, was probably one of his best works. So really looking forward to seeing that again after so many years. This one, I was watching a trailer to on YouTube, and again, Rob must have been in the kitchen. He was listening to it and he said, what is that you're watching? I says, it's a trailer for a movie with Michael Douglas. He says, it looks good. I've never seen that. Couldn't believe it. So I grabbed a copy. Falling Down. Remember this one? His car number plate was Defends. Do you remember that? And it got the meanest buzz cut ever in this. This is basically Michael Douglas playing a guy who is pushed one step too far and fights back. Classic sequences in the fast food shop and also in Gangland. This is really, really good. If you've never seen this, Michael Douglas has never been better than he was in this. Absolutely superb. So we will be watching this one Saturday night with a pizza because he's never seen it. And this is one that I've meant to get for ages. I've never seen it, but I'm a huge fan of Close Encounters, as you know. But I've never seen Contact with Matthew McConaughey and Jane. What's her name? Jodie Foster. I watched the trailer to it the other night and was suitably intrigued by it. So I thought, you know what, it's worth getting for $5.99. So grabbed a copy of that one. Seen this one loads of times. The Naked Civil Servant, John Hurter's Quentin Crisp. This is a TV drama from 1975 that pushed the boundaries. Really, really good. Really enjoyed it. So it's been released on a nice new Blu-ray print. So I thought I'll have a look at that. Not seen that for quite a few years. QT8, a documentary on the legend that is Quentin Tarantino. Watched the trailer for this and thought, my God, that looks absolutely brilliant. So again, £3 I think this cost for Blu-ray. That's not bad at all. So I thought we'll have a look at that. This is one that Blue Roy Movies recommended. Hell in the Pacific with Lee Marvin and Toshiro Mifune. So looking forward to taking a look at this one. Know very little about it, but I do know that Roy loves it, so that's good enough for me. Be taking a look at that. And this one went out of print before I'd even noticed it was available. And when I spotted this on Amazon as a reprint, I thought, do you know what, grab it now while you can. I'll show this off properly next week because it's a steelbook and it looks a really handsome one. Lawrence of Arabia. Brilliant movie, absolutely brilliant. This is obviously the 4K Ultra HD version. I think it cost me 46 quid, but I get the feeling it's going to be worth every single penny. So I'll show that off a bit better next week because it is a steelbook and it's still in the cellophane, but I had to grab that while it was available. And finally, I spotted this book because I was looking for a soundtrack to this movie, which is no longer available. The Giant Spider Invasion scrapbook. Again, it's just literally just lots of pictures from the movie, a few articles, bit of text there. I love this film. It's one of the worst films ever made, special effects wise. My God, Mark, if you think the special effects in Live and Let Die are bad, just take a look at this one and see how far you get. But I've wanted this book for ages, so I thought, you know what, treat yourself. I've gone really mad this week and I shouldn't have done. So I'm going to have to rein it in over the next few weeks, I think, now. So, right, that is literally all I've got for you for this week. I think I've covered pretty much everything, so it won't be an extra long one next week. But knowing you guys and your comments, it could very well be. So I'm going to let it go at that. If you've enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, share, all that sort of thing. Thanks ever so much for joining me, folks. It's been a pleasure, as always. You guys are amazing. With your comments and your questions, please keep them coming because that is what keeps this thing going. So have a brilliant week, folks. As I say, thank you so much for joining me and have a fabulous week, and I will talk to you all again at the same time next week. Any bits that I've missed, don't worry, I will come back to them. I've got it all on the screen here, so take care. I'll talk to you soon. Ta-ra.